Hello traders, welcome back to another live trading video. Real quick before I jump into this video, what I mean by live trading is that this is a real account. This is real money that I am putting on the line with each of the trades that you see on my trading videos here. So when I say that, these, I don't know what's going to happen next. Now, obviously from the thumbnail or the title, you'll probably be able to tell whether or not this trade was a winner or a loser. But if you stay tuned until the end of the video, you'll see exactly how this trade played out from start to finish without forward knowing what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen with this trade, but I do have a short bias. I've decided to pick up a short position, and I'm currently floating a whole $5. So maybe I could close the trade right now and go get a cup of coffee. No, we're going to actually try and let this trade run. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain the entry. I'm looking for more downside here on the AUD USD currency pair, and I am looking to stop out if price continues higher. So let's break everything down, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so AUD USD has been on a downtrend here. We're looking at a 1 hour chart, by the way, meaning that each one of these candles is 1 hour of price action. But let's switch to the 4 hour view for a second. You can kind of see we've had a little bit of a shift in direction here recently on the AUD USD currency pair. So we had this big upward trajectory, right? Lots of higher lows and this trending market to the upside until recently where we put in a lower high and we broke out of that trendline support structure, right? So after that happened, I've been looking for an opportunity to short this currency pair for the last few days. Now, what I've done now is I've actually marked a level of resistance on my chart here in pink. And this is a level that I've been looking for an opportunity to actually short the Aussie dollar. Let me just clear some of this old stuff because that's going to bother me if I don't. So price decided to break underneath this on the 4 hour chart. And I said, okay, bam, we've got some momentum to the downside. Things seem to have changed directions here. And if you look at the long-term chart, right, the daily chart, we still sort of have momentum here to the downside. So I am looking to see if we can catch a little bit more of a slip to the downside here. So I have actually taken the trade. Here is the 1 hour chart view, and you can see I drew a Fibonacci retracement from the top of this move here to the bottom of this move here. Once that's been drawn, it gives me these three levels, the 38.2, the 50% level, and the 61.8%. These are retracement opportunities for possible shorts, in my opinion, and that is why I took the short a couple of hours ago here, right on this candle as it hit that 38.2% retracement and started to bounce off. I chose to get short with a stop loss about 30 pips away, or actually, I believe it's 25. Yeah, 25 pips away, just above structure here. So I am looking for price to either hold this general area and sell off quickly, or I will take a small loss of about $80 to $85 on this trade. So nothing crazy, keeping things very controlled. And sometimes I get the question, Nick, why aren't you taking bigger lot sizes? And the truth is, it's because number one, I like to keep my lot size small. So I am shorting 34,000 units or a 0.34 lot size. And on top of that, I have other trades that I am taking at the same time, and I don't want to open my account up to these massive swings. I'd like to keep lots of small positions on lots of different charts that I like and try and ride trends the best I can. So with that said, that is the technical breakdown. Let me really quick offer you one more thing here. So this is the A1 trading community, which is where I share all the trades that I'm taking in real time. If this is something that you are interested in, the link to join this, if you like Discord, if you'd like to join our Discord community, there's a link down below in the description. And with that, you can see every trade that I take. You can see the trades being taken by our other analysts. Right now we have Patrick and Ryan, who have been with us for a while. You can join and jump into the chat room if you'd like to meet traders from around the world. We have traders from every continent, and we have webinars that go on each week, coaching calls and things like that to help members, hosted by our very own Ivan. So we've got lots of stuff inside of here, packed full of value. Check it out down below in the description. Use that promo code. You'll get a discount if you are a subscriber, if you would like to join this service that the team here offers. So yeah, so I already covered the technicals, pretty much loved that retracement to the 38.2, the downtrend overall. And from a fundamental perspective, I haven't talked about this yet, but let me just add this detail here. So recently I've been very bullish on the dollar. So maybe in the future, I'm not going to be so bullish on the dollar, but right now I am. GDP growth bounced back, unemployment figures looking pretty good, and the hawkish monetary policy stance that the Fed currently has, right? And then from an AUD perspective, they had some sort of dovish statements recently made by their RBA governor. So of course I am a little bit hesitant to be super bullish on the Aussie. That's actually why we saw that big sort of decline. And now the retracement is something that I'm interested in getting in on, especially with the statement that there will be no rate hikes in 2022 and that a 2023 hike is entirely plausible. So shared my trade, there's the entry, the stop loss, and you may ask, well, why don't you have a take profit? Well, the main idea, keeping it simple, I like to trail stops. So what that means is that if price were to drop first of all, if price were to go against me, I just stop out, take a small loss, and move on, be done for the day. If price goes in my favor, which I'm thinking has a good chance of happening, if that happens, what I'll do is I'll trail my stop loss, meaning if price drops, I'll move that stop loss to break even, lock it in so I can't lose money on the trade. If it keeps going, I'll start to trail that stop into profit, and so on and so forth. I get questions about that all the time. I have a couple different videos that you could look up, or if you'd really like to learn my style, the best way to do it would be to join the Discord and read through our strategy library to read up on kind of the full breakdown of my approach to trading the markets. It is what works for me. I encourage everyone to do what works for them. So with that said, what I will do is I'll pause the video now, and once this chart gets moving, maybe tomorrow or the next day, I'll give you guys an update as to what happened. All right, guys, and it is one day later, and we're looking at AUD USD. Price came down really well, and it does look like my entry point was pretty decent here. So let's just recap where we were yesterday. So you guys saw in the previous clip that price came up to a level that I really liked. I ended up calling out that trade alert inside of the Discord, and sure enough, price is dropping nicely here going into the New York session. Now, couple things to think about here. Now you'll notice I actually have already moved my stop loss up to break even. So my stop loss is here. I'm currently floating $145 on the trade, which is awesome. And my goal here is to actually let this run if it wants to. So what I mean by that is I haven't taken profit. So I haven't closed out of the trade here or anything like that. I've actually just moved my stop loss from a point of where I could lose money now into a point where I can't lose money. The worst thing that could happen is I just walk away with a free trade, which is a great place to be when you're trading. Anytime that I can reduce my risk in a trade, that's something that I personally really like to do. Not everyone likes to do that. Some people like to just put a stop loss and a take profit and hold it until either one gets hit, which is fine if that's something that you prefer. But for me, again, my goal is to take risk off the table and to let winners run. So what I've done is I've already alerted inside of the Discord. I'll just show you the update there. So I said just a little update on the position. I moved my stop loss to break even, and right before I filmed this video. So pretty much whenever I film these videos, I send out an alert to members first, and then I jump on here and film that. So it seems like Patrick and Ryan are also in some similar trades, so I'll go check those out afterwards. But that's kind of just what the Discord looks like. We're all usually, there's a lot of similar trades that we take. Like I know Patrick has a very similar trading style to me. He's looking for breakouts and things like that. So in the end, not too bad. Happy with how this thing is going so far. And my goal here is just to continue to let this thing go. Now, here's my thing I want to show you guys. So part of the reason that I moved my stop loss to break even, I get a question sometimes. I'm like, well, people will say, well, Nick, when do you move stop loss to break even? When do you trail stops and things like that, right? Well, I detail all of that in the strategy library inside of the Discord. If you would like to go download those PDFs and read through that, then that's something that you have options to do. Oh, that should definitely be pink. That's a little confusing. Sorry about that. You could definitely go download those, but the main thing that I usually do is I use structure as part of my trailing stop approach. So what we'll notice is that we do have this area of possible support. Now I'm watching this today and I'm thinking, okay, I think it actually could keep going lower and break out. If that happens, I sort of set up like an if-then, right? I'm a programmer. I went to school for programming, so I still kind of think that way. I basically said, okay, if this holds, great, we'll trail stops and look to break even. If it doesn't, we'll stop out and take a small loss. And then from here, we're gonna repeat that process. I'm saying, okay, this is support, but we've got some momentum to the downside. I think this thing could still break lower, right? Remember that in a downtrend, support usually breaks if the trend to the downside really is strong. So on top of that, we've got this big area of support. If price breaks that, then what I'll probably do is start trailing my stop loss behind it, right? So that's kind of what I'll do to move the stop loss, to move the finish line, if you will. So right here, I basically said, okay, let me see a move down to this previous low. If that happens, go ahead and trail stops to break even. If this breaks out, I'll continue to trail stops to some further degree using structure. So I kind of have to do it as I go, right? By analyzing the price action of what's going on in the markets. But what we notice right now is that we do have this area of support. I'm looking to see if that can break. If it does, then great, I'll trail that stop further. So I hope that makes sense. That's kind of just my approach to using trailing stops plus price action. So with that said, we'll pause the video and come back once things have moved again. Okay guys, just an update here on the AUD USD short that I'm currently in. You can see I am floating at this point about $195. At one point it was like 230, 240, but prices started to bounce a little bit here, but we did get the trigger for me to trail my stop loss. And now you can see my stop loss has been moved from where it was at break even down to this point here. And what I've done is I've actually locked in just about 1R on this trade. So worst case now is not a matter of whether or not I make money, because at this case, you know, the worst thing that could happen is I take a profit there and walk away with a nice little gain on the trade. The best case scenario though would be if price continues to roll over, and in that case I can trail stops further. So my goal here is again to let the market decide. I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm basically giving it up to the market to say, hey, you know, if you want to keep going, by all means, please do. I will trail that stop further, and if it reverses, I've locked in enough to be happy with the trade. So very, very good spot to be in for sure. My stop loss also, by the way, has been locked in just above where this previous level of support has basically held or broken actually. And now I'm looking for it to essentially hold if it does retest or continue lower, like I said. So that is your update. From here, we'll see if price tags me out for a win or if we can continue to move this stop loss lower. All right, guys, and this trade on AUD USD continues to come down lower. You can see we are floating at this point. Here's your profit camera view, $250 on the trade so far. And I have actually moved my stop loss down a little bit further. It is Friday at the time of filming this, and we saw this little ledge point where we saw price find resistance and continue lower. We did have some big news during the NFP news release, which caused a little bit of volatility. And so I basically decided to take that stop loss where it was and trail it a little bit more into profit. So I have locked in a good bit on this trade. So worst case scenario is if this thing starts to reverse, if it starts to break out to the upside, then I will probably look to take profit on my position. So I'm in a good spot. I just shared this alert with members. So congrats, by the way, to anybody who is already in the Discord and you caught some of this AUD USD sell side. I've been getting a lot of messages today from people who are on the same page. They chose to take a trade of their own, which is awesome. And hopefully we can see a little bit more downside. But either ways, I have locked in the trade and shared that interest decision with members for those of you guys who are interested in the Discord. And so from here, it is just a matter of waiting game, right? And again, this is the nature of my trading is most of my trading is spent waiting. I've moved my stop loss. I've now just made it so that, okay, let's give the market the chance to make a decision. Is it going to reverse? Is it going to continue? I'm not predicting here. I am basically just reacting. The market has given me some profit, and what I'll do from here is look to basically just continue to trail along behind price. So from here, we'll give it some time, let it go, and see if we can trail further. All right, guys, and we are all out of AUD USD here. I ended up closing a profit here of $159.80 on this main account, and actually on my backup account, I also took this trade and was able to close out a profit of $147.56. So with that said, all out of there for, what is that, about 300, sorry, my math is terrible. So $300 or so, which is give or take pretty solid in my opinion. So I'll take that. Overall, overall, nice little trade here on AUD USD. The trend continued to the downside just as we were looking for. And one thing I wanted to note is, again, the weekend is right around the corner. It is Friday at the time of making this, and the price action here in the second half of the day was pretty strong. So it's not that I don't think the price can continue lower, but I'm actually just going to close out for the week and maybe next week get a chance to re-enter this trade. So be on the lookout. Maybe I'll take another trade and share a video here on YouTube. But either ways, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel for more live trading videos, and hey, we'll see you back next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.